On September the 8th, Black Pigeon Speaks released a video entitled, "Atheism Isn't Edgy or Amazing. It's Dying Out Worldwide." Upon watching it, I found it to be both self-serving and misleading. So here is my quick response. First, I note that about half the video is dedicated to excoriating one T.J. Kirk, better known online as the Amazing Atheist.
Which is, and I must stress, very different from the likes of Dawkins and Harris, for example. Which is fine, as this sort of weed-scented lack of belief and the need to shout it to anyone who will listen, while at the same time castigating and ridiculing those that disagree, is obviously coupled with a lack of self-reflection, and for the most part, these self-proclaimed leaders of no belief have an almost cartoonish understanding of theology, history, and human nature.
Now I agree that TJ is no Dawkins or Harris, but I also think it is fair to say that TJ has never aspired to be a nuanced proponent of atheist philosophy. He's always presented himself more as a comedian who, in his own estimation, rants angrily in empty rooms. So as I see it, the Amazing Atheist is filling more of a role of an online Howard Stern or George Carlin. He's striving more to be an edgy entertainer than an atheist role model.
Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day.
BPS really seems to lose the plot, however, when he decides that, despite having roughly just 20% of the subscriber base of TJ, that he can somehow declare a sort of victory over him because his recent videos are garnering more views.
But my video view count is almost always higher. And despite distancing himself as an atheist who is amazing and trying to rebrand himself as a rational skeptic, trying to reformat his channel is dying. Because atheism just isn't edgy anymore.
I really don't see what his point is here, other than to self-congratulate himself on his own channel's success. However, as it relates to the alleged thesis of the video, Peter Griffin summed up my thoughts on this well.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Second, and more importantly, BPS misleads by suggesting that atheism is in worldwide decline.
Put simply, atheism is the fastest shrinking belief in the world. Atheism is in decline worldwide, with numbers of atheists falling from 4.5% of the world's population in 1970 to 2% in 2010 and projected to drop to 1.8% by 2020.
Now, BPS is correct in the sense that as a percentage of worldwide population, those without religion are shrinking. He dutifully notes that this is due primarily to birth rates, but he doesn't tell the full story. For example, he neglects to mention that the same Pew Research Center that he touts in support of the alleged decline of atheism also notes a steep rise in the growth of those in the US and Europe who are disaffiliating themselves with religion. Tellingly, he also doesn't explain that most of the loss of the unaffiliated don't come in the West, where atheism is on the rise, but rather in the Far East, such as his much vaunted and rapidly aging country of Japan, as is shown by this very telling chart that was presented and explained later on in the very same Pew Research study that he used to arrive at his conclusions. As the study itself notes, religious switching has been powering the rise of the nones in the United States and Europe, with a net gain globally of nearly 70 million people are projected to join the ranks of the unaffiliated through religious switching between 2015 and 2060. But at the global level, gains made through religious switching are overshadowed by the impact of fertility and mortality. Finally, although Black Pigeon Speaks aligns himself with Christian values in spite of being a lukewarm agnostic himself, he neglects to point out that the religion of Islam is the big projected winner in all this, far outdistancing not only atheism, but also Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity as well. So, if BPS's argument is Vox Populi, Vox Dei, as suggested by his self-serving comparisons between his channel and that of TJ Kirk's, then the evidence shows that it might be time for him to start practicing up on his Allahu Akbar and Qibla prayers towards Mecca.